Hey, what's going on, world? Steve Dab 317 back with another reaction video. The tone of this video is going to be a bit different. I was actually just made aware of the article that released maybe earlier today or maybe yesterday, just in reference to some of the North Korean executions of individuals for either watching or being in possession of like K-pop or K-pop related content, whether it was a USB drive or movies, music, whatever it was, or pretty much anything from South Korea is what I'm gathering. Which it was really just kind of mind blowing and a shocker to me. I know one of the things that I've said numerous times on this channel is that I've always lived here in the States, so my exposure to some things that go on in other countries is very limited, to, the information that either people send my way or what's made available here in the States. But anyway, so I kind of was curious. So I picked up this video titled, or I looked up this video. It was titled 10 Secret Photos Smuggled Out of North Korea. And excuse me. And I'm hoping this may give me a better understanding of kind of what's going on and what's going on with was it Kim Jong-un, and I don't know, just trying to get a better understanding. Hey, if there's something you can share in the comments like that will kind of give me guidance and direction, I greatly appreciate it. But I'm gonna go ahead and get right into this one.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 illegal photos smuggled out of North Korea. So North Korea doesn't let tourists take any photos, but...
All right, and real quick, and also shout out to whoever put this video together. I'm not sure the name of the channel. I will definitely put it down in the description, give them a shout out. It'll be in the description as I do always. But I was just, like I said, I got to trying to do some research and looking up different things, and this is one of the first videos that popped up, and it looked like maybe it'll shed some light or some insight so I can better understand. So
some visitors and journalists do come here and secretly take photos, and here are some of the most shocking photos they've ever taken. So guys, be sure to like the video and subscribe and comment I subscribed, and I'll try to reply to all of you. So, coming in at number 10, we have eating grass. So, this is a photo taken of an old North Korean man collecting grass from a public space and putting it into a bag. But this guy wasn't trying to start his own garden or anything. His plan is actually to eat the grass. And although that may sound funny, when you find out why...
Alright, so, so what is the big thing behind photos? Like, here, I mean, you whether you use your phone or got a camera, I mean, you see something you want to take a picture of, you take a picture of it, but I'm assuming like that's highly forbidden. Like in North Korea, like are people even allowed to carry around like cell phones that have cameras on them, or like what does that look like?
You won't be laughing. Because of the massive food shortage in North Korea, many citizens have to resort to eating bizarre things to stay alive, such as grass, wild berries, and sometimes even rats and roadkill. And it's not just this guy doing this, thousands of starving North Koreans are forced to do this every day. But next up we have GUNSHIP. So, North Korea obviously isn't a nice country to live in. So, why would anyone stay there, I hear you ask? Well, if somebody wanted to escape, they'd be instantly killed by a North Korean soldier on a gunship. It's this female army member...
Is this serious? Like is this current age? Like I think this video's from like 2017, so I'm man, that's
member's job to shoot down anyone trying to escape North Korea by swimming over to China, which is very close to North Korea. And there's a few reasons why North Korea doesn't want their citizens to leave. Firstly, because if they could, they would all leave to nearby countries such as China, destroying the North Korean economy, meaning that Kim Jong-un and his family would have no power and no country. And also because if somebody escapes, they might give insider knowledge that makes North Korea look bad, which...
Alright, so what I'm gathering from this video, that many of the people who live in North Korea are in a sense hostages, like they're being held hostage. I'm sure there's individuals who don't want to go through some of the stuff that they're going through over there, so that I think falls underneath that category.
China destroying the North Korean economy, meaning that Kim Jong-un and his family would have no power and no country. And also because if somebody escapes, they might give insider knowledge that makes North Korea look bad, which people have done before, such as giving information about the infamous North Korean death camps. But next up we have barbed wire. So I know I was talking about escaping the country in the last one, and I said anyone who tries to swim across shore from North Korea to China would be shot and killed. Well, if anyone even wanted to get in the water, they'd have to go through this first. North Korea has barbed wire fencing, which is also electric, going for miles and miles down its coastlines to ensure that no one can be arranged to be rescued by a boat, and so that no one can swim away. And for
Oh, so it's legit. It's like legitimately a prison, like a big country-sized prison.
The few people who do try and climb the barbed wire and get stuck in it, police walk up and down the wired fencing every day, and if they find anyone stuck, they're either killed or taken to a work camp where they work for no food or free time until they die. But next up we have not enough resources. So this photo is very illegal, and that's because it shows a critical failure of North Korea, that being their lack of resources. Because North Korea tries to make themselves look really good around the world, but really they don't have much at all, as you guys know from the guy who had to eat grass. And although you might not have noticed it at first, this photo is of North Koreans trying to get on a bus. Because there's quite a large population but very few amenities like buses, public areas and schools, North Koreans sometimes have to wait days just to get on a bus. And by the looks of how many people there are, compared to the number of buses, they're going to be waiting a while longer. But next up we have child labor. So this photo is very sad and it shows how desperate North Korea is to look good at all costs. So this may look like any old farm, and it is like any normal farm, except the people who work there are all children. And North Korea would hate this photo being out there because it shows that they don't have enough skilled people, such as people who are able to grow food for the country. So they have to resort to using children, and these kids work very long hours with no breaks and almost no pay. And they're also kept a close eye on by a guard-like person who works at the government-owned farms. But coming up next we have barricaded roads. So we all know that North Korea isn't shy when it comes to warfare, and they're not just prepared in terms of having lots of guns and bombs, they're also quite well equipped in terms of their defense. One very paranoid thing that the North Korean government has done to almost every road is to barricade it with metal fencing, and even huge concrete blocks. And the reason for this is to prevent blocking the roads that would stop them from being able to move around the country if war ever broke out. And even though there is no immediate—
Wait, what?
It with metal fencing and even huge concrete blocks, and the reason for this is to prevent blocking the roads that would stop them from being able to move around the country if war ever broke out. And even though there is no immediate threat of war, the government are very paranoid and have prepared for this, and unfortunately now the only view drivers in North Korea are gonna get is of huge towering concrete walls. But next up we have secret army. So North Korea has one of the largest armies in the world with around 7.7 million soldiers. But that's not because all citizens are very patriotic, it's because they have to be in the national army by law. And obviously they have their regular army units with guns, tanks and missiles, but North Korea also has a secret all-female army unit which use much more unconventional weapons. They actually use huge katanas, which are traditional Japanese combat swords. But I'm not sure if these women would ever be used in actual war, because I'm pretty sure with all of the other countries trying to destroy them with bombs and guns, a sword wouldn't do much to help. But what I do know is that these women are used a lot in parades and celebrations put on by Kim Jong-un, and they also have to do a weekly show just for the enjoyment of Kim Jong-un and his high-ranking government friends. But coming up next we have dangerous buildings. So this is another photo that North Korea would hate for me to show you guys, and that's because it shows that North Korea isn't as modern as they'd like you to think. So when I show you this photo, you might assume it's in a poor area, or maybe the people on the ropes aren't serious construction workers. But no, this is in North Korea's capital city, and it turns out that the government provides very little safety gear for its workers. And if you think I'm being annoying and just pointing at problems that don't exist, well, hundreds of North Korean construction workers die every year by falling off buildings and from other construction injuries, because they don't have stable supports, safety helmets, and sometimes
Like, and I try not to go too deep into my assumptions, you know, because I have not looked into any of these things. I can't say that I can validate any of the claims that are being made in this video, but with the assumption that what he's saying that these things are all true, like, this is, in 2021, like it's mind-blowing to hear and see some of this, especially the thing about like with the gunships and then the fences with the barbed. I guess the fences, I shouldn't be too surprised, because for a while they were Trump was pushing really heavy in terms of trying to build a fence across the border, but man, around like the entire country, I don't know, it's I guess in my mind, it almost seems different building a fence to keep people from getting out as opposed to one to keep people from getting in. And not saying that I agree with either, but it just, I don't know, the motives at least just seem different. But anyways.
The construction workers don't even have enough money for tough clothing, so they can get injured very easily. But next up we have desperate business. So this photo would be very illegal to bring out of North Korea. Basically, there's a big issue in North Korea. The people are very hungry, but there's also not very many jobs. And because North Korea is a communist country, and that's sometimes okay if there's jobs for people, but if there's no jobs given out by the government, it doesn't work. And because of this, it's illegal for North Koreans to set up their own businesses, so some people just have to set out a table and sell random items just to survive. But if they ever got caught doing this, the woman and the kids would be sent to a work camp to work until death. But next up we have shopping restrictions. So this is a photo of a North Korean store, and you may be thinking, why didn't the guy who was eating grass just get food here? Well, only the richest and most powerful North Koreans can shop here, and even they can only get North Korean foods. If you want to buy imported goods, then you have to be or be related to a high-ranking member of the government, and even then you can't get very much, because a lot of places have a trade ban, meaning that they don't sell stuff to North Korea. So North Korea usually has to import things to China and then bring them back from there. And if you don't believe me about the lack of food, just check out how small that shopping cart is. But yeah guys, this is definitely a photo that North Korea doesn't want you to see. And that just about wraps up this video. Check out the poll in the top right corner and you guys can vote for the craziest photo. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe.
All right. Well, I guess this is perhaps the beginning of another deep dive for me. I don't know much about North Korea. Like I said, I was exposed to that article earlier today, or a little bit ago, and I was like, I want to start looking into it. And I figured that while I'm on this journey, I would just go ahead and, record a reaction video as I look at different content. Some of these reactions coming up may be based off some of the news articles I find. If I find something that's compelling or seems to have compelling evidence or something like that. But yeah, if you can point me in the right direction in terms of learning more information, it'll be greatly appreciated. Yeah, I guess I'm here for the ride. I'm here to learn and see if there's any way that I can be a contributor to, I don't know, helping people or something like that. I don't know. But anyways, for now, I'm going to get out of here. Steve Dab 317. If you made it this far, I greatly appreciate you. This, of course, wasn't a music video, but like I said, I do an assortment of reactions. And this one, it just seems something of great importance, so I wanted to speak on it. Well, for now, signing out. Peace.